I have an amazing guest on today. Stay with us. And good morning. Welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls and I'm your host, and I am pretty darn excited about who I have on today. This woman, I came across her path from my buddy Brian Hess, told me about her, and I was just completely blown away. So much so that I got my wife on a meeting with her and invited her to be on the show. I think you guys are going to be blown away. So I'd like to welcome my new friend, Ashley Weaver, to the show.
Ashley, yeah. There's some confusion because I just got married, so I'm switching from Ashley Inget to Weaver. Anyways, I'm Ashley Weaver now. So
Ashley Weaver.
Yeah.
But it is Inget Weaver.
Right, yes.
Okay.
So eventually it'll be fully just Ashley Weaver.
Okay. So Ashley, I what you've accomplished in your so far few years on this planet compared to me, at least, like, it's amazing what you've done. And I know that you've had some challenges, and that's what this show is about. Like, how do you have challenges and break through and achieve what you've achieved? So let's start with you sharing with everyone where you were born and raised.
So I was born in North Dakota, Minot. So if you know where that is, it's about 30 minutes from the border of Canada. After being born in North Dakota, about 3 months later, we moved to Pakistan. Then it was like really a lot of hopping around. We went from Pakistan, Philippines, Venezuela, Mexico, back to Venezuela, Paris, France, Texas, Oklahoma, China. Briefly went to Spain, and then now I am in Texas. So it's been a lot of different, I've lived a lot of different places. I'm not really from anywhere, but I guess I mostly consider myself from Colorado because I lived there the longest.
Wow. Did you say Pakistan and China?
Yeah. Yes. So China was actually one of my favorite countries to live in. I loved it there. That was when I was in 8th and 9th grade, and it was a lot of fun.
Really?
Pakistan, honestly, I don't remember Pakistan at all. I was 3 months old to about a year. But my mom tells me stories. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So China, like, did you learn Chinese?
I tried. Not very well. I was in level 2 Chinese when I left China. So I knew, I mean, it is hard. You are learning the character, the pinyin, the definition, the tones. They have intonations. There's a lot to learn for like one Chinese word. So it's really slow going, and I had the worst accent. No Chinese person could understand me.
Did it stop there? Did you say, that's it, I'm not learning any more Chinese?
Yeah, once we moved, I kind of thought, you know what, it's better just to focus on my Spanish. I'll just keep my English and Spanish, and that's it. Chinese is going to take me 4 or 5 years to be even, conversational at it.
Wow. Well, so where'd you end up finishing school?
So I went to Oklahoma State. Well, I went to high school in Colorado near Denver. It's a city called Centennial. And then I went to college at Oklahoma State.
So you went from Denver or Colorado to Oklahoma?
Right. So I had lived previously in Oklahoma, and I had no idea where I wanted to go to college. So I just toured like 6 or 7 different colleges, and I really loved Oklahoma State. And they just had such a good, warm feeling and so friendly that I said, I think this is it. This is the school that I want to go to.
My gosh. So you ended up going to Oklahoma, which, like, I've driven through Oklahoma, and I remember my wife, we were moving back to Ohio from Vegas, so we kind of went through the upper part of Texas and up through Oklahoma, headed back to Ohio. And it like I had always heard about these storms in Oklahoma, and we hit one,
Real.
or it hit us.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like I've never seen a storm like that. It was insane. So
Yeah.
here you are in Oklahoma going to now was your family with you, or you just moved from Colorado to Oklahoma?
Yeah, I just went. I mean, I had
Wow.
moved so many times at that point. I mean, it was still scary for sure. That was the
Yeah.
furthest I had been away from home, where home I consider is where my parents are.
Yeah.
Since I don't really have like a true home, where I grew up my whole life. So it was still scary moving that far away, but I just figured, this is what I need to do. It'll work itself out somehow.
Wow. So you went to college at Oklahoma State, and what did you study there?
And that's where I majored in mechanical engineering. So
You
that was,
you fit the exact mold for a mechanical engineer.
do I?
Not
No, yeah. I was always good at math and science and, growing up.
yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I was just going to go to school undeclared. And my dad said, well, why don't you just try engineering? If you're good at math and science, if you hate it, you switch out. So
Right.
I thought, well, that makes sense to me. I might as well just do that. I had the plan of switching out after the first semester, maybe the second one, after I figured out, what I wanted to do. But I never switched. I graduated
Wow.
as an engineer, and it worked out great.
Wow. So you graduate from mechanical engineering, and what happened next? You were in Oklahoma, you got a good job in Oklahoma, and you settled down?
Yeah, well, kind of. So I got an internship with a oil and gas company down in Houston. And
Okay.
so once I formally accepted their offer to work full time for them, and I moved down to Houston for that, which that was even scarier because I thought at that time I thought I'm going to move back to Colorado and be closer to home. So the fact
Right.
that I was, moving even further from my family kind of terrified me. I actually worried myself sick for 2 days about it, thinking I'm making the worst mistake of my life. But
Moving
I
to
decided,
Houston.
right. Yeah. And I'd only
Wow.
heard terrible things about Houston,
Right.
like, oh, it's so hot. It's terrible. There's so much traffic and humidity. So I wasn't even excited about the actual city.
Yeah.
But so I worried myself sick for 2 days. And then I sat there and I was like, actually, there's no point of worrying myself. The worst case scenario is you go down there, you work for a year or two, you quit, you move back to Colorado. So once I told myself that, I was like, that's really not that bad. I can do that. So I accepted the job and I said, you know what, God will handle this. He's got it figured out. I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be fine. And little did I know, 4 months before I moved to Houston, my parents got transferred to Houston.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, then one of my best friends moved to Houston for a job as well. And all of a sudden, I was like, I could have never planned this myself.
Wow.
Honestly, like God just set it all up, and I would have never been able to even try and orchestrate that. So that was a true testament to, what, just jump into the scary thing, just do it, and it'll work out somehow. I don't know how it will, but it will.
There's a a force, a power much greater than us in charge of all that, right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So here you are in Houston, then magically within months, everybody in your life is kind of appearing in Houston. That's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
and you start as a mechanical engineer. Is that so? You use your degree,
Right.
which is not that doesn't happen all the time, right? Like
Right.
that doesn't
Yeah.
happen all the time. So here you are now, you're a mechanical engineer in Houston, Texas, and how's that going at that
So
point?
the first few years, I absolutely loved it. I was learning a lot. My family was around. I had friends around. I really enjoyed my job. I had a plan that eventually I wanted to start my own business, but I thought like you needed to be like 35 until you could do that.
Yeah.
That was just a thought I had. Like you need to be older, you need to be wiser, more experienced. You need to have, all this, you know, experience under your belt. So, that was kind of like a long thought away. So I was just focusing on corporate. So after about 4 years in corporate, I got switched through a couple different positions. Eventually, there was layoffs happening. So we had gone through 3 layoffs because oil took a downturn. They weren't making any more money. They were like hemorrhaging money and going, bankrupt. Oil and gas companies everywhere. So through these 3 layoffs over the course of a year and a half, I kind of started getting like the nudge, like maybe this is the time to exit and start my business. But that was terrifying to me because I had no idea what business to start. I had no idea what I would do. But I thought, I have a severance package. So, it would give me some time to really kind of figure things out, figure my life out. Right. So for the 4th round, and like the other part that helped make this decision, I probably would have never been able to make that decision on my own, but I got paired up in a work situation that just wasn't healthy. My boss at the time was, I don't really know what happened. You can never really know what situations, but for some reason he took a disliking to me.
Wow.
Yeah. So every day, my mindset, my positivity, my optimism, it was just completely at a different place. I turned into a complainer. I hated going to work. I no longer enjoyed my job. So now that I no longer enjoyed my job and I had great work situations and bosses before that. So I loved my job. But as soon as I got that new working position, I thought like, I need to get out of here. And so that helped make the push a little bit, less scary to raise my hand and get laid off, but still scary. I mean, you're stepping into unknown waters. Right. So got laid off the 4th round, and it was still shocking. Even though I knew it was going to happen, I was still shocked. There's just no way to really explain it. So I got laid off. It had 8 months of savings. They all dwindled away. I had no more money. I had to go back to work because I still hadn't figured out what to do with my life. So
you took 8 months off?
Yeah. So
were you looking for a job, or were you?
No, I was not looking for a job at all. I hadn't even updated my resume. I traveled for 2 months to Asia because I thought this is the one time in my life I can do it. I was really just looking for inspiration. I was looking for a plan. I was investing in courses to try and help me get an idea. I honestly didn't know.
And how old were you at this point?
28. So You can imagine that my boyfriend at the time and my dad were very concerned. They're like, hey, why are you not updating your resume? And why are you not looking for jobs? There's a lot of external pressure going on. Are you turning into a bum?
So, right. And so I think, I sometimes I like to look at the things that happen in our past to see how they kind of lay the groundwork or the foundation for what's going to happen in the future. Right. And so here you were, as a kid, your whole childhood, pretty much, it sounds like you're bouncing literally around the entire planet, like you're just moving all over the world, right? Do you think that had any bearing on your, you're just like, I don't know, it'll work out, like kind of attitude?
Yeah, absolutely. I've reflected on that and thought, wow, all that moving forced me into uncomfortable situations. I didn't really have a choice. And I honestly thought it was normal. I didn't know that other families in the world didn't live like that. So I got so used to being uncomfortable that it became normal, where I'm just like, this is what's going to happen and this is what we're doing. And I'm going to make the best of the situation. So it kind of laid the groundwork.
You know what? That's awesome though. That's it's a blessing in disguise, kind of, right?
Yeah. Because I don't know if I would have been able to take the jump and take the leap because so many people thought I was crazy. Like legitimately crazy. They're like, you're leaving a soft, cushy job, 6 figures plus, and you're going to do what? You have no plan. They're like, I could see it in their eyes. They're like, you are literally crazy. Wow. And I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. Like, I have to.
Wow. And you went to Asia. Like, what part of Asia? Where'd you go?
I had a friend who got laid off as well, so we just traveled through Asia. We went through Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Bali. We just kind of hopped around everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your boyfriend wasn't with you at the time? The boy, you said you had a
No,
boyfriend,
we
right?
had just started dating,
Okay.
so he like legit thought I was crazy, but didn't want to say it really, you know. Um,
He
he told me this
legit
later,
thought I
of
was
course, right?
crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about this girl. I don't know if I see a future with her, kind of
Right.
thing. Because
Right.
who does this? And I knew that was probably, and I thought, this trip will determine whether we should continue dating or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. So 28 years old, you're now using up all your savings, traveling around, not really caring about whether you have a job or not.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean,
And
to
that
me, it
went,
makes perfect sense.
and it went against everything that I'd been taught. I mean, I had been
Yeah.
taught you need to be saving in your Roth 401k. You need to have 6 month savings. You
Right.
should not spend money on silly things. You need to be thinking about your retirement and your future. And, I was doing none of that. I
Yeah.
was doing the complete opposite.
Yeah. Wow. So, so you came back from your Asian travels, right? Or Asia
Yeah.
travels. So what happened next? You eventually I would assume you started running out of money.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was reading books about business. I was Googling, I was YouTubing, I was doing webinars, I was reading blogs. I was trying to do everything that I could to figure out how to start a business. And then, 8 months later, I'm basically out of money. And my dad called me up and he said, "Hey, I got you an interview with a job or with a company." And I was like, "Wait, what? I'm not ready. I still have like a month of savings left." And he was like, "No, you need to go to this. So update your resume." And, I knew he was worried. I think in the back of his mind, he thought, does she think that I'm going to pay her rent? Because that's not going to happen,
Right.
So he's like being proactive and trying to help me out, as a good dad should. It was
Yeah.
great that, he was looking out for me. So I went to the interview, I got the job, and then I was back in corporate again, which was
Wow.
probably good. I still didn't know what I was doing, and I only had a month left of savings.
And you're 28, right?
So I think, yep. When I got the job, I was just turning 29 then.
Okay. So you got, and was it back in the oil and gas industry again?
Yeah. This time
Okay.
not engineering, because I didn't want it to suck up all my time. It's just a lot of intense work, doing engineering. So I went into sales instead. So as a service company where we were bidding for work and doing more sales type work.
Okay. So, how did that go?
My plan was I would start my business on the side, and because it wasn't as intense as engineering, and that didn't happen. I was still just as exhausted and tired after learning a new job, getting to know new people, new processes, that I did not do anything for my business. And I still had no idea well, at that time I started getting an idea, like, starting a business is hard. I need some help. I wish there was something that could help me, because I've spent months and months on end getting nowhere.
Right.
So I had this idea, like, I would love to help people with their businesses and starting them, because it's so overwhelming and there's so much information out there. So that's where that kind of started to come into play. But I was too scared to do that, because I was like, I'm not qualified to help people with starting their businesses. So I started doing digital marketing instead. So I was helping people with their Pinterest strategies on marketing themselves on Pinterest.
So, okay. And this is while you're still doing the sales job?
So this was about 5 months into the sales job. I got this idea, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do.
And but you kept your full-time job.
Right. But at month
Okay.
6, I got laid off again. So this time I didn't know it. And that was, different from the previous layoff. That one I was kind of really shocked and like, wait, why is this happening? And that one was more, I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have savings in place.
How do they do that? Do you like show up to work one morning and they go, "Hey, let's chat"?
My first layoff, they gave us 3 months advance notice, and I knew I was going to get laid off. For the second company, yeah, I just showed up to work and they said, "Hey, are you going to be at work tomorrow morning?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't be." So I knew something was up, and then I got there, and as soon as I got there, HR came by and they're like, "Hey, so the company's not doing well. We got to let you go." I was like, "Well, I wasn't ready for this one."
Well, that makes sense. Let your salespeople go if the company's not doing well.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
kind of a weird thought. Yeah.
That's like most companies start cutting back on marketing when things are down.
Yeah. But instead, they
Yeah,
started letting their salespeople go. So they had just
that's
let
like
everyone.
cutting off your oxygen when you can't breathe.
Yeah, it was
Like,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Wow. So you were laid off that day. HR came by. I mean, did you have to leave right then? Like they came by, "Hey, pack it
Yeah,
up
like
and get out of here."
they come with you to your desk. They like grab your personal belongings and then they walk you to the exit, take your badge, anything that was theirs. So like the computer.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's just kind of like, well, so I got out of, I left, I was in the parking garage and then I called my boyfriend. I was like, well, I got laid off again. And he was
Wow.
like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Now, is this the same boyfriend? The same
Same boyfriend. Yep.
that was wondering if you were a nut job?
Yes. So he's
So-
like thinking at this time, does she know how to keep a job? Like,
right.
why does she keep getting laid off? This is weird.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I'll bet he's like going, I don't know about this chick now. Like,
Yeah. He probably had some serious doubts about me.
yeah, right. So here you are in the parking garage on the phone with your boyfriend, and he's, obviously you're probably not feeling super wonderful about life in that moment. Like, I can't imagine.
No.
And what happened next?
Called my dad and I was like, well, the company let me go. And he was just as shocked as I was.
And he
Then
got you the job or the interview.
right. Yeah.
So
He
it's
got,
really his fault.
yeah.
I'm just-
No, I never saw it that way. I mean, my
I
dad
know,
had,
I'm teasing.
yeah. So I
So
went to my parents' house because I didn't want to be alone at that point. Went to my
yeah,
parents' house. I was like, well, at least I can just hang out with my mom, and just, I don't really want to talk about it, but I'll hang out with her and just kind of sit there and maybe we can make some cookies or something.
right.
I can develop my new next life plan. But so after 2 days of moping and kind of being like, poor me and, why did this happen to me kind of thing, I was like, Ashley, snap out of it. Like, let's go. This is what you wanted. This is the push you needed because you wouldn't have left that job. Like, start your business. You just got your idea a month ago. Like, let's start doing this Pinterest marketing. Let's go. So then I just went full on out Pinterest marketing, starting, doing my business then. I made $300 that first month. So, which isn't a lot, but to me, that was like, okay, there's the potential, there's a possibility, like I can do this. And that first sale of $300 was, the motivation to like, okay, this can go somewhere. I'm capable of doing this.
Proof of concept.
Yeah, exactly.
And an engineering thing, right? Like,
Yeah, nothing to do with engineering.
no, I know. So you made $300 your first month, and I'm sure everybody around you was really excited. Like, that's like, wow, Ashley is killing it now.
No. So like I was excited about the $300. I was like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I made $300. Everyone else was like, so how much is your rent? That's besides the point, guys. Okay. Stop
Right.
putting me down. I made $300. And they're
I
like,
know.
all right, well,
Right.
that, and they would like state the obvious, like, well, it costs a lot more. You need to make a lot more money than that to pay your rent and bills and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
all right, negative Nancy's, thanks a
Right.
lot. I know that,
Negative Nancy. You said negative
Yeah.
Nancy. So,
Yeah.
okay. So you made $300 your first month. What happened the next month?
So I was hustling my butt off. I made, I think, $1,200 that following month, which
Wow.
I was like, okay, I made $1,000, still not enough for rent because my rent was 1,500 at the time.
Yeah.
But I had 2 months of savings, so this really helped.
Yeah.
Then I went into December, and I can't remember exactly how much I made, but it wasn't. I think it was like a little. It was 900, I think, because I was selling my packages for $300 each. And it was Christmas, and it's just kind of like stressful because everyone's like, well, what are you going to do for a job? What happened when you got laid off again? Why did that happen? And what are you going to do now? And I was just kind of like keeping it a secret that I was doing my business because I didn't want to answer people's questions, and I didn't want to feel like, judgment, I guess, because I was really just kind of freshly wounded from the layoff, and I was kind of just, it's just like really, what's it called? Not strong. I was just kind of weak at that point, mentally, emotionally.
Right.
So I kept it a secret that I was doing my business, and really only my parents and my boyfriend knew, and then a couple of friends.
Wow.
So that's kind of how I operated for a few months.
Did you have to tell the landlord? Like, hey,
Yeah, I didn't tell him. Yeah,
but so, and I want to talk about this because I've been an entrepreneur since I was, I don't know, in my late teens. And I think that it's very, very common for people around us when we have an idea that doesn't fit their mold of what life should be. The whole get a job, use your college degree, get a job, get a 401k, get married, have kids, settle down, blah, blah, blah. Like you're not doing all of what everybody thinks you should be doing. You're doing what you think you should be doing. Right. And
yeah.
so the pushback, let's talk about the pushback a little bit. And this isn't to throw mom and dad or anybody else under the bus. It's to bring a light to how you confront that and deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was pretty blessed, and actually my parents were fully supportive, especially after the second layoff. They're like, yeah, we know you can do this. You need to do whatever you want to do. I mean, they told me, you're smart enough to do this. You're driven enough to do this. They were really actually good pumper uppers and cheerleaders is what,
Wow.
really is how I see it. So
That's
I
awesome.
really feel blessed that I had that. Because without that, it would have been a lot more difficult to really navigate everything. And I asked my parents, like, hey, if I completely fail at all of this, can I potentially move back home into your house? Like, is that okay? Is that an option? And my mom, of course, is like, oh my gosh, it would be the best thing ever. So,
Yeah. We can make cookies all day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I had planned my worst case scenario for my failure, just so that I could ease my mind of these fears, just so I could tell myself, like, everything will be okay. Like, stop worrying so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, month, I don't know, 3, 4, how were things, were things starting to take off for you? Were they staying around the same?
Yeah. So month 4, I got a job offer, six-figure job offer. And that I was like, I got to turn this down. I saw how this went with my last job. I could not handle starting a business and working a job. So I was like, I have to say no. But I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want anyone to convince me out of it, because I knew I was still fragile, that fragile state of mind.
Yep.
And I decided, I'm just going to say no and not tell anybody until, 2 weeks later, so no one can convince me out of it, including myself.
So you turned down a 6-figure job in month 4 of owning your business.
Yes. Yeah. And that was scary. I'm like, am I really screwing up here? Am I really screwing up? Actually, I had gotten 2 job offers because another friend, he had offered me a job as well. I totally forgot about that one. And he was like, oh, yeah, it'll easily be 6 figures. Like, and they were looking to hire. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally have 2 job offers for 6 figures. Like, am I making the worst decision of my life by saying no to both of these? That was scary.
So I would call this chapter enter the distractions. Like,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yes.
temptation. And I get that. Like I totally get that.
Mhm.
So you said no, which is, man, that's like huge. That is huge to say no to, because a lot of people watching this, probably a lot have never even made 6 figures, let alone turn down a job with 6 figures in it, right? So here
Yeah.
you are, month 4, you're making $1,200 a month or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Killing it. Can't even pay your rent
Wow.
fully.
I know. My savings are like nothing. I'm like, I could really use this money from the 6-figure job.
Okay, well,
Like,
I'm with your boyfriend. You're crazy at this point. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I can relate. I can
Yeah.
totally relate to it, right? And I think a lot of people can. So you said no to 2 6-figure jobs, which is unbelievable, and said, nope, I'm just going to keep hustling and grinding here. We're going to make this happen. What happened after that?
Yeah, so I knew I was going to make this work, and I just needed all my time to dedicate to it. So it was month 6 that things just took off. Oh, and before that, I had also told myself, you know what, Ashley, worst case scenario, you sell your car, and I could get like $10,000 for it, and I was like, $10,000 will last me, maybe 6 months of rent and bills. Like that'll be great. That's
Like, who needs a
time.
car?
Yeah, I
Anyway.
don't need a car. I'll Uber. I mean, I live downtown. I can Uber everywhere. I had a boyfriend.
Ashley, I love this. You're going all freaking in. I love this.
Yeah,
That's
like my
where
mindset.
the magic happens.
I could not go back to corporate. I just knew, like, I have to make this work. I will do anything to make this work. I will sell my car. I will sell my belongings. I'll move back home with my parents. If my boyfriend needs to break up with me because he thinks, I'm going nowhere, then, then he wasn't right for
Felicia.
me. Yeah. But he stuck it through. I stuck everything through. And month 6 is when I hit my first 5-figure month. It literally blew up from $2,000 the previous month to $15,000 the next month.
Wow.
And blew my mind. I was just like, I did not believe things could happen that fast at all. Like I was just hoping and praying for a $5,000 month, you know? I was like, I will be fully happy with 5,000, even 4,000. 4,000, I can fully cover my rent and bills. But it all of a sudden blew up to 15,000. And I was like, this is insane. I did not plan for this. But again, it's kind of like a God thing. I just put my trust that it'll all work out. I didn't know how it would work out, but it did. And thank goodness I said no to the 6-figure jobs, and just kept going.
That's so awesome. Because you would have never known.
No.
And you would have always wondered.
Yes. Yeah.
You would have always wondered.
And I would have had that regret for sure for years. Like, what could have been? What, I didn't fully fail, like, all the way to the bottom. So, like, what if I could have gone big? And so I would have completely regretted going back to, a job.
So you were, so here you are in month 6, right? Is when it took.
Yeah.
You brought in $15,000, which is probably more than you were making if you would have had a 6-figure job.
Yeah, definitely. That was more than my 6-figure job, like monthly.
Yeah. So here you are now bringing in crazy money, and the people that thought you were crazy may have thought, oh.
Yeah. Like, oh, we didn't think this was actually going to happen, Yeah. So,
And then your
To be
boyfriend was
honest,
probably like, "Hey, you want to get married?"
yeah, he's like, thank goodness. All right. She's actually, worth it. She's not,
Yeah, right.
he told me this later. He thought that maybe I was thinking that he could just start paying for my rent and he could just start taking over and just kind of like take advantage of the situation. I was like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I can't believe you thought that. Like, I'm so sorry that I even gave that impression. Like,
Right.
no, like, definitely, I never expected anyone to cover my rent or my bills, at all.
Wow.
I would have moved home at that point.
You're like, I was going to sell my car. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's be
yeah,
clear on something here. So,
exactly.
so you have we're getting some really really good feedback here, by the way. So you have, at this point, you're 6 months in, things are starting to take off. Now, I want you to be honest with me. Has it been rainbows and unicorns since that day?
Oh no. I mean, of course there's been ups and downs. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember one month where, I had a family member pass away and then I had all of a sudden we had to move really quickly from our apartment because the homeowners were coming back. And then I also had a retreat and there was another week. So I was literally gone the entire month.
Mm,
And that really stressed me out. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to run my business? I do all organic marketing, and so that was a stressful month. Oh, I know. I had a mission trip. So I was in Africa, literally no Wi-Fi. So
wow.
I couldn't even touch my business. So a whole month, I mean, that was really stressful for me. God blessed me in many ways. And I ended up making, 5 figures still.
That
And that's
month?
because I had some systems. Yeah.
Wow.
I still had systems in place to
Mhm.
make sure that happened. But like, of course, your mind goes worst case scenario. I had to like train my mind to really not freak out and be like, look, everything's gonna be fine. Everything always has been fine. Like, even when it feels like, the worst is happening, I'm gonna have to sell my car or like go back and live home with my parents,
Yeah.
it all turns out okay. Like, everything will. So I just had to like train my mind. And like, of course, my mind will go to worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I think that's human nature that we tend to do that. So it's not always rainbow and butterflies,
Yeah.
but there's a
Yeah.
lot more rainbows and butterflies than there is down moments.
So, and I want to, I kind of want to talk about, and I'm not really shifting gears, but I kind of want to talk about, you were a mechanical engineer. You are a mechanical engineer.
Right.
Or that's your degree. Well, that makes you a mechanical engineer. So it makes all the sense in the world that as a mechanical engineer, you should get into internet marketing. Like,
Yeah.
not at all. Right. So
Right.
I want to talk about that because I think that, I mean, obviously starting out, it wasn't like you had this aha revelation moment of, I created something brand new that nobody's ever heard before. And I'm gonna, like, this is the new iPhone. Like, it was something that you learned through courses and a lot of other things, right? And then you compiled all that data and made something absolutely phenomenal. By the way, I am a member of your course, and thank you, Brian Hess, who Brian was on here. I don't know if he still is, but holy crap, it's an unbelievable thing that you've done. But so you went into this internet marketing realm, which is unbelievable. Like, it really is. I say that because I've been in internet marketing for a long time. So, like, to go from mechanical engineering to that is a pretty extreme leap.
Yeah. And I definitely had some huge mindset blocks about it. I thought, who's going to hire me? I'm a engineer. I am not a coach. I'm not trained in this.
Right.
I'm not a marketer. I took 2 English classes in high school and 1 English class in college, like
Right.
zero marketing. So I had some huge like reservations about that. But what I did know is that I can learn anything. And that's I told myself, you know what, Ashley, you got an engineering degree and you're not exactly like, I was never the smartest engineer. I had to study a lot more than other engineers. I struggled through a lot of the classes, but I graduated with a 3.6 GPA. And it was like, Ashley, that's huge. Like that you were able to get a great GPA and engineering degree. That means you can literally do anything. So I had to, and my dad was saying this to me as well. So it's really helpful for him to say this to me. Like, look, Ashley,
Yep.
you're capable of anything. Learn digital marketing, learn marketing. Like you can do anything you want. So that's the mindset I took. And I was like, I will do whatever it takes. I will learn whatever I need to learn to make this happen because I love working with people. I love coaching people. I love helping people. So let me, like, that's really my thing is like, you can learn anything.
I just tagged my buddy Ray Higdon on here. Hopefully Ray sees this because I want to bring up something that you mentioned to me before. Have you ever heard of him, by the way?
Yeah. So, I mean, most recently, and like within the last few months is when I heard of him.
Yeah. So Ray's got an interesting story. Not exactly similar, actually. He was in foreclosure and all kinds of issues, but he does a lot of internet marketing stuff too. But like you're like, see, I think most people are sitting around waiting to have the big idea, the new invention, the new, right, or whatever before they go, I'm just going to take action. And here you are, you're going, I'm a mechanical engineer. Of course I can do internet marketing. Like,
yeah, why not?
What we
why
do.
Not? Yeah.
Right. But like you had all these words of encouragement coming from other people too. And that is huge as well. And I'm sure that the ones that weren't encouraging you, you didn't hang out with, I would imagine.
Right. And that was honestly is a really difficult time in my life to really figure out who do I want to surround myself with? Who do I kind of have to let go?
Yeah.
And just put some more distance and some more space in between. And who do I need to like really seek support from?
Right.
My dad and my mom were huge supporters. My boyfriend became a huge supporter. I had several friends that were huge supporters, and I made new connections with people in the online business world that we could kind of share our struggles with, just to know that I wasn't alone.
Right. So month, I don't even know what month we were in, 7, 8, 9, whatever. I don't even know how long you've been doing it now. Actually, how long have you been doing it?
So I always count it as like officially since I got laid off. So that was October 2017. So I've been officially 2 years and 2 months. Yeah.
Wow. And are you still like thinking you need a job?
No, I will never go back. I actually had another friend give me a job offer last month. He was like, hey, how's that online business stuff going? Do you want a job? And I was like, I make more in my online business than I would at your job. And he's like, well, it's going to be 6 figures. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. No worries. But thank you. I really appreciate it.
Right.
And I was like, and I can work from anywhere. I can work from North Dakota where my parents are. I can work, over in Asia if I take a trip. Like I was like, I can't give up this,
no
freedom anymore.
No. So let's talk a little bit about what you developed, because it's very, very, that AirPod doesn't want to stay in, does it?
It keeps falling.
Yeah. It's what you've done is actually incredibly unique. I've met a lot of, content aggregators that'll take other people's content and things and they'll put their spin on it and they aggregate all this together, right? And you've taken things to a completely different level. Like it's insane. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing, what you've done, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it really stemmed from me coming from the engineering background and having no idea how to market. So I had no idea how to market myself, what to say, what to post on social media. I was just kind of, looking for inspiration. I'd get overwhelmed and stressed and, nothing would get posted. My consistency was zero. Well, not zero. I would like post a couple times and then nothing. And, that's not good for business. Like, well, you can't have a business, a profitable business if you're not doing that. You have to be consistent, and you also have to be creating content that actually develops the relationship with your audience and, positions you as an authority, as someone to help them. So this was a huge thing I struggled with, which is why I created my course. And it literally lays out, over 200 content ideas of what to, put out every single day. And then on top of that, I also gave templates, because sometimes people are still overwhelmed, even with the content prompts and ideas. They'll be like, well, I don't know exactly how to write or what I should write, or, so I gave like literally templates of fill in the blank of your business, so that literally anyone can take this, even if you're day one of being an entrepreneur or your day, 1,000, it's applicable to anyone at any stage of the game. So, and I made sure that I had the different types of content. So there's the sales types of content, there's the engagement content, there's the getting to know you content, there's motivational content, there's all the examples, and it's laid out there so that literally anyone can pick it up, fill it out in a few minutes and post it, so that they can have consistent marketing every single day.
Because I think that, and I saw Ray Higdon hopped on. I don't know if he's still on here. Hi, Ray, if you are. But I think that that's one of the things that people who are trying to market themselves online or market themselves, let's just say that online, obviously, if you're not marketing online today, you're not marketing. But like, the people that are, they run out of ideas. They may have 3 ideas last month, and then they're like, I don't know what else. I told my story already. What else do I post? Right.
Yeah.
I talked about my cat.
Yeah. Right. It doesn't even help me in my business to talk about my cat. I don't know.
Everybody loved the picture of my cat, but like, I talk about my business and they all hate me and unfriend me. Like, so those are real struggles. Those are real issues that people face. And what you've done is put together a system that is it's unbelievable. Like, it really is. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to make it super simple, a day-by-day, step-by-step plan, so that you can just pick it up and go and have effective content that's not boring, it's unique, it's helping position you, growing that know, like, trust factor. Yeah. It's doing all of it. You just pick it and go.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, and then you've created content calendars, like every single day of the entire flipping year, the entire year. Like, I have it. Like, it's in an Excel or a Google Sheets document, and you click on the month, you look at the day, and it's like, hey, today talk about this or post about this, or what. I'm like, good Lord. So, which is really, really cool, because people don't, even amazing, successful business owners still struggle with that.
Right. Yeah.
Coming up with ideas.
Exactly. So 7-figure business owners, they've got like idea teams to help them with this, and they're curating content, and they have, people they've hired to like do all this. So I went around and pulled all the best content and stuff that I knew got good engagement, that was good, that wasn't just fluff content. I call it fluff content when people are just putting out their, stuff that doesn't help them in their business, and it's not helping them, make more sales. That's the fluff stuff. So I got the real marketing content that'll help them make more sales, and I put that all together in one big calendar.
Wow. And was there something that happened that gave you this idea to put all of this together in one big package like you have? And I know what so people that don't know what you've put together don't know what I'm really talking about. I have it, so I know, like, holy crap, it's unbelievable. Like the Trello boards, Like, and if you guys don't know what Trello is, it's just a really cool way to lay out ideas, right? Kind of.
Right. It organizes everything.
It's organizational system, and I have Trello. My wife and I use it, but the stuff you've put together is it's crazy. Like, I mean, it's a lot of content. Like, people don't realize there. I mean, you said 200 or post ideas or what? There's way more than that.
Yeah. So I continue to add on to it. So I've kind of lost track. I just continue to put more information there. That way, I just want it to be as helpful as possible, to be honest. So I keep adding to it and keep, making it better. And then, there's over 100 templates. So really, I guess in total, that's almost 300 definite ones. Plus,
yeah, but you can take those 300 and go in multiple different directions with all of them, right? So it's kind of almost an infinite amount of ideas that you could gather from what you've put together.
Yeah. Honestly, no one should ever run out of content with this. There's just no way. There's absolutely no way that you can run out of ideas and content and what you should be putting out there with this.
No way. I agree. Totally agree. So what was it that made you like, was there like this moment where you're like, this is it, this is what I'm putting together, like this is, and I'm going to sell it? What was that?
I mean, first, all my clients, everyone that I work with, probably 95% of them have a hard time marketing. Like, what should I say? What's unique? That was the common pain point that just kept getting repeated to me. Then I was going through my own launch, and I had put together a whole launch calendar, and I had put together, all the different content and posts, and that's what I was giving to my clients, So, and so many of them had said, this is so helpful. This really takes like the stress and overwhelm out of, posting every day for a month. So what I did was expand that to, an entire year. So it's not just launching, it's also just marketing in general. So that's kind of how it started and then turned into what it is now.
Wow. And it's obviously it's evolving into other things for you, being on my show.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I honestly, like, I if it weren't for what you put together, because look, I love creativity. I just love creativity. And what you've done is very incredibly creative. It's very creative. So, I want everyone here, number one, I want everybody should be following Ashley for sure. I don't know if you want them to send you a friend request or if there's a Facebook page or
send me a friend request, Ashley Weaver, and send me a message, just say hi, for sure.
Yeah. And you also have a business page, obviously. So which is what?
It's Ashley Weaver as well. So you can type in Ashley Weaver, go to pages, and I'm right there. I'm the only one, I think. Yeah.
So you also have a do you have some sort of a promo thing that you want to, is it the same thing that I got?
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check out the content planner, or you're needing help with your marketing and you're just, really struggling with it, I've got a bit.ly link. So if you want to go to bit.ly/powerhouse content planner.
I just put the link in. I'll throw it up here on the screen. I just put the link in there. I'm trying to get it in the main feed for my regular page. There we go. There it is. So there's the link to the planner. I'm telling you, like, first off, the reason I know about it is Brian Hess hit me up and he goes, dude, you know how we've talked about sometimes it's tough coming up with content ideas to put out? And I'm like, Yeah, it can be, especially when you're trying to run every other aspect of your business. And that's what I do. Like, that's what I do. And like, he's like, dude, I found this chicks course you're not even going to believe. Can I talk about how cheap it is?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like, most of you spent more at Starbucks last month than what this thing costs. It's like, what is it? 50, how much?
It's $37 for the
Hold
content
it.
planner.
How much?
37.
30.
Yeah.
That's all I spent?
Yes, that is all you spent for like thousands of hours saved and all the stress and overwhelm. So
$37? I thought it was 50 something.
So yeah, you can add on the launch planner and the selling content. So if you add that on, then yeah, it's like almost $50.
Almost $50.
Yeah. So
There's,
it's just a complete no-brainer. I made it so that literally anyone can afford it. It's super accessible and incredibly helpful. It's honestly worth like about $800, $900. And
more.
I just, right.
It's worth more. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not like, I'm not joking. I don't want to go, I don't want to share it so everybody can just see it and copy it from the video here. But I'm telling you, it's insane what's included in this. It's insane. And a question, I don't know if you know the answer to this, because I know you have the Trello boards in there. Do you have to pay Trello? Like, if I don't have Trello, can I still view the Trello boards and use them?
Yeah, Trello is actually completely free. So
Okay.
anyone can sign up for an account and access it. You just copy the Trello board over to your account. That's it.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
insane. So make sure that you go over to bit.ly/powerhouse content planner. I'm serious. Like, it's going to be the best $37 you've ever spent. Like, it's insane what you get for it. And I said, tell everybody what I said to you the very first time I talked to you. Tell them, go ahead, about the price.
You said you should be charging thousands for this. I can't believe you're basically giving it away. And then you told me how Grant Cardone said that he would tell me the same thing, like, increase your prices. You're crazy for selling it so low.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like almost as crazy as traveling Asia on your life savings. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I just do all the crazy things.
It's incredible. Cool. I mean, my wife is on here. My wife is, well, you met Jill. She's a marketer to the core. And she's like, she was blown away by it too. Jason Randall, what's going on? He says, what did you say was included in the extra package? What is that again? Repeat that.
So that's a launch content. So it gives you the whole plan from A to Z of how to launch your actual program.
There you go.
So if you want to really take off in 1 month, get the launch planner. The content planner will help you market everything else.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think that you guys, look, for $37. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's help this poor woman out. That's she probably can't pay her rent still selling it for $37 dang dollars. So, I'm kidding. I know you can pay your rent.
Yeah, I can more than pay for it. Yeah, for sure.
I know. Well, I know that you've signed up thousands of people, and I think that that's amazing what you've done. And the people that do get it, when they log in, they're going to go, holy moly, all of the content's insane. So, Ashley, you're awesome. And I mean, maybe in 10 years we'll have you back on the show just to see which island you bought. Because I have a feeling there's some really cool stuff coming for you. So
we'll sign that up for next year. We'll do 2021. You can see what island I bought.
There you go. I love that. I love it. Love that. Is there anything else you'd like to tell everyone or about like how to overcome the ups and downs?
Honestly, you just have to decide what you're going to do and just stick with it. That's really what you have to do. And take out all the naysayers. Don't listen to them. You know, surround yourself only with the positive people who are going to encourage you, even if it's just to say, hey, don't worry, like it's just one day, you can do this. Surround yourself with good people, pick a goal and just stick to it, even when it seems like maybe it's impossible to do.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, I want to thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing everything with your story. And it's incredible how you were laid off twice, and you said, I'm never going back to corporate again. I'm doing something about this. And you have.
Yeah. And I really am living my dream life here.
That's so awesome. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. Everybody, make sure you follow Ashley, follow her fan page, her business page, and her send her a friend request on Facebook. And most importantly, I pinned the link to the bit.ly. Go over to the link and get her content planner. It's ridiculous, I promise you. So Ashley, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me, for sure.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And you guys have an awesome day. Have an amazing weekend. I don't know if I have any shows scheduled for next week. So if I don't see you guys, have a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone.